Ever think about what makes some people really rich and others not? Andrew Carnegie, who was one of the richest people in history and a giant in business, thought he knew how to get extremely rich. The really interesting part is that it's not about working better, having the right connections, or even just being lucky. Carnegie's idea is surprisingly simple but has a huge effect, and anyone can use it, no matter what their situation is. So, what is the secret really? Let's look into Andrew Carnegie's timeless knowledge and see how his ideas can change not only our bank accounts but also the way we live our lives and achieve success. Andrew Carnegie, a name associated with Dale and books with how names, was actually Andrew W. and Dale. Carnegie changed his last name to Carnegie like Andrew when he was a young author, but Andrew had already passed away by the time Carnegie made the change. A mathematical problem served as the basis for his judgment at the time. When he heard the surname Carnegie, he was reminded of a man who had amassed more wealth than John Rockefeller and John Pierpont Morgan together. To determine the amount of money that billionaires currently have or have had in the past, one can use inflation, or the percentage of their capital included in the gross domestic product of the world at the time. Andrew Carnegie would be the wealthiest businessman in the world and the fourth wealthiest person in history after the great emperors. Andrew Carnegie began his life in poverty and moved to the United States at the age of 13. He worked as a coiler in an aspen mill for a weekly wage of $1.50. Step by step, starting your working life with small steps is the best way to get started. Young Andrew initially worked as a boiler stoker in a factory basement, which was more comfortable and paid more than $2. He was promoted to an office position due to his beautiful handwriting. However, he decided to leave the office paradise and seek employment as a messenger on the street. The telegraph, which was not used for commercial purposes until 1837, was the most advanced technology available at the time. Thomas Scott, the manager of the local branch of the Pennsylvania Railroad Company, assigned Andrew to the position of personal telegrapher. At 18 years old, Andrew was paid $35 a month for his work, which increased his income by 30% over 5 years. He also developed a friendship with Thomas Scott, who would later become his business partner. Starting your working life with small steps is crucial for success. Andrew's experiences in various occupations, including boiler stoking and office work, paved the way for his future career in the telegraph industry. Don't save money. Andrew, an 18-year-old from a working-class family, decided to invest his money in stocks instead of investing in hobbies and leisure activities. Carnegie, who had already purchased additional shares based on dividends, was also interested in the shares. This decision was peculiar for Iked, who came from an economically disadvantaged family. During that time, there were no wealth-building classes, and Andrew's education was limited to 5 grades. Despite this, he would check out new books from the neighborhood library weekly, but there were no business manuals available. Carnegie, a pioneering venture capitalist, acquired shares of the Adams Express Railroad Company by taking out a mortgage on his parents' property and borrowing money from his classmates and colleagues. The railroad was considered a revolutionary innovation during that time, and Carnegie's calculations were established within a year. After accumulating $630,000 through an investment of $50,000 in shares, Carnegie continued to acquire shares of oil companies, railroads, and bridge-building businesses to expand his business. Carnegie's purchase of additional shares based on dividends from the current shares was intriguing, as it suggests that the idea of just take it or leave it was not aimed at him during the conversation. The search for oil. Investing in new markets requires a combination of risk and calculation. Carnegie, a venture capital company, could benefit from purchasing shares of companies specializing in bridge construction. The United States development necessitated infrastructure creation, and Carnegie was purchasing land in abandoned areas for oil exploration. He relied on local stories about oil locations to purchase land. However, he was unable to sell his plots and never earned black gold from them. Carnegie's oil-bearing site, which he purchased for $48,000 and spanned 22,000 hectares for 30 years, was valued at $5 million and provided him with an annual income of $1 million in 10 years. Carnegie's success in investing in new markets requires a balance of risk and calculation. Motivation for 25. Carnegie's initial career success was fueled by a bonus of 2.50 cents, which he gave to his parents to support their living standards. This experience was an exciting moment for him, and he realized he wanted to accumulate wealth for his parents' sake. However, he did not have enough motivation to improve himself. Instead, he focused on accomplishing everything for someone else, which led to a significant spike in his excitement and performance. This lack of motivation led to a significant spike in his performance. To overcome obstacles on the path to success, one must have a constant incentive, whether it be for their parents, children, or even strangers. Regardless of the motivation behind their actions, a strong desire to succeed is essential. Follow the rule. The novel Carnegie follows the story of an elderly man who faces numerous unpleasant events in his life. The town's inhabitants sympathize with him, but despite his hardships, he discovers that 9/10 of his issues were present along the way. This realization leads Carnegie to understand that most of the problems and doubts that cause anxiety are not genuine. The human brain tends to imagine all possible negative outcomes and act accordingly, but the majority of these scenarios never materialize. Even when they do, the outcomes are not as severe as initially thought. Carnegie overcomes his fear of the unknown and takes the necessary risks to achieve his goals, leading to significant success. The novel emphasizes the importance of adherence to the rule of 9/10 and the importance of overcoming fears and uncertainties in life. Step out of the shadows. A young man visited Carnegie's office to interview him about his accomplishments. Instead of discussing his rise from poverty to fortune and his business relationship with John Rockefeller, Carnegie shared his story of overcoming poverty and focusing on the positive aspects of life. Carnegie believed that the most important thing in life was the ability to forget about problems and look at the bright side of life. He believed that focusing on optimism was more important than wealth. Young people should be aware of their ability to enhance their thoughts, similar to how the body can be converted from darkness to light. Carnegie, in the business sector, was able to focus on the positive aspects of life by removing herself from the oppressive negative perception of life. This ability to recover from failures and opportunities is crucial for success in any situation. This is it for today. We hope you enjoyed the video. If so, then share your thoughts in the comments and also share this video with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you can never miss our video.